Well, welcome back. This is Stocks to Watch as we explore North American Niobium, becoming a key supplier to domestic defense, industrial, and technology supply chains, trading on the CSE under NIOB, the FSE under KS82.F, the OTCQB under NIOMF. Now, this video is disseminated on behalf of North American Niobium, and we are privileged to be joined by Murray Nye, the CEO, and Clyde McMillan, the Vice President of Exploration. Welcome, gentlemen.
Nice to be with
Hello,
you,
Carl.
Kyle. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, such a pleasure to get both you on. And I'm going to dive first and foremost with Clyde here. I mean, you've recently announced plans for phase two exploration across your Blanchette, Bardy, and your Seigneurie properties. Maybe kind of give us an idea of what is the scope and objective of the phase of exploration and which targets does it cover?
Yes, thanks, Carl. So specifically, we're continuing the exploration plan on Bardy and Blanchette, also Seigneurie. So I'd like to remind the viewers that these are granitic pegmatites, and these have niobium and rare earth elements associated within these dikes. So we've seen encouraging results from our prospecting program, and now phase two of our surface geochemistry is going to focus on the soil gas radon survey. So that's going to be conducted by Radon X. And why we see this geochemistry survey working really well is because these rare earth niobium bearing rocks, they release radon gas, and that could be detected even through a layer of overburden, and the signal usually sits right on top of those dikes.
Now, Clyde, let's put this campaign into context. Earlier in January, you reported geochemical results from Q4 2025 grab samples confirming magnet rare earth elements and niobium across multiple properties, as well as radon anomaly zones, as you kind of mentioned there, spatially associated with known REE prospects at Blanche 1, 2, and Bardley. How do those prior results lay the groundwork for this phase two exploration program?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Yes, so they confirmed that these pegmatite dikes are mineralized, and now through the phase two program, what we're seeking is to identify the extent of those mineralized pegmatites and give us additional drilling targets.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those phase two specifically, I mean, what are you hoping to find? What outcomes would give you the confidence to advance toward a more extensive drill program?
Yeah, exactly. So I talked about the surface geochemistry survey. We're also going to conduct a high resolution drone max survey. And why we think this is important is because these pegmatite dike, they cross-cut strongly magnetic host rocks. And that's why we think, the high contrast between low mag pegmatite and very strongly magnetic host rocks will enable us with a radon survey to properly properly map all these pegmatite dikes.
Yeah, appreciate the insight on that. I want to switch over here a little bit to Murray. I mean, you are currently overseeing several properties. In your view, which assets offer the most significant near-term opportunities, and how are you working to de-risk the portfolio as a whole?
Well, I think Clyde just mentioned that with the type of exploration programs we're putting in place. We've got a big area there. We've got over 30,000 hectares staked. Now we're also looking at other opportunities in the area as well in Quebec. We're fully financed for this year for our drill program. We've raised over $5 million in flow through shares. So we have it's not a question we have to find something, go out and raise the money to do something with it. We're sitting on the funds right now. We're just trying to identify the best targets that we get the biggest bang for our buck, if you like. So that will de-risk it. The fact that we have the ample funds, and we're going to add to the portfolio as well. We're looking at other prospects. So as we get into this, I think we're well advanced. The only holdup we've had is the permitting process itself. It's not the fact that they don't want us to do anything. There's no resistance. It's just the fact of call it the hoops you have to jump through to actually get the drill permitted. And it's a new process the Quebec government brought in 2024. It's referred to as ATI. So we have to talk to the Indigenous people, the the locals in the area and any property owners that have an interest, as well as the communities that could be in this area. There's been no resistance at all from any of these groups. It's been very, very positive. But I guess the downside of that is it takes a while to do that, to arrange these meetings, get people, together to hear what we're doing. And it's just been a little bit, I wouldn't call it frustrating. It's just been a long process. But the contacts we've met on the other side and the people we've been introduced to are very, very friendly to what we're doing. And it's been very, very encouraging from an exploration standpoint.
Now, Blanchette is often described as your flagship asset. Talking geologically about it, I mean, strategically from the rest of your portfolio, how does it kind of differentiate? I'll pass that one to Clyde.
Yes, thanks, Kyle. So Blanchette, what we see is the difference is, we see those pegmatite dikes, which we've confirmed are high grade results on it. We've had, historically, previous samples have collected up to 2.7% total rare earth. And now our prospecting program has matched this number. And so what we're seeing is a pegmatite system, dike swarm system that has pockets in it. And this is our thesis that we're thinking and that we're currently aiming and targeting at.
Yeah, and expanding a bit more there, Clyde, Bardy appears to represent an extension of the Blanchette story at a district scale. I mean, what would validate that thesis for you in 2026?
Yes, exactly. Bardy and Blanchette, they are actually very close to each other. They could be one big property. And Bardy shows the similar characteristic as Blanchette. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we get some high grade intercept even on Bardy.
Absolutely. And Murray, I mean, niobium is kind of seeing an increasing use across technology, defense, manufacturing applications. How is North American niobium kind of positioning itself to become a key future supplier of this critical metal?
Yeah, I think the strengths that we have are the fact that we're in Quebec. The only producing mine pretty much outside of Brazil is in Quebec, the NIOB mine. There's another property being developed that has a niobium tantalum credit to it in Quebec. The structures are big, the area is big, and I think, as Clyde indicated, the geology is extremely encouraging for what we have. And I think the fact that niobium is becoming more and more critical, I don't know if that's quite the right word, but there's more and more uses for it. As they develop different technologies. For instance, it's a high strength, low alloy steels are being used, military vehicles, naval vessels, structural armor, superconducting magnets for sensors and detection systems, high performance radar. The list goes on and on. And one of the I think there's a company called NIOB that's using it for fast charging systems for EVs, and a lot of other applications are coming into play with this metal. So as technology advances, niobium becomes more and more important for these technologies to come to fruition. So it's a very interesting metal. The supply is really restricted to Brazil, and I think the Chinese have a big interest in that mine. So there's some real critical, issues behind these metals, as well as the other ones that are currently out there, like tungsten and antimony, and niobium was one of those metals that there is no substitution for these things. So you have to have them if you're going to keep the supply chain going. I think that's the thing that a lot of people miss, that these things can't be substituted, that you need them, and they have to be available if you're going to produce something.
Yeah, and I think you gave some good insight there. But finally, maybe for new investors just stumbling in, what makes North American niobium a compelling investment opportunity today?
Well, I think the strength is that we have, we're in a very good area. Like if you look at, the mining friendly area, Quebec. I mean, Quebec is a great province to operate in. The permitting is a little slow. Other than that, it's a great jurisdiction. You've got one of the other things that we've got, we're not helicoptering drills or anything. We can actually access these property by road. Both of these, in fact, the Blanchette and Bardy are accessible by a logging road. I mean, we could literally take the drill off the back of the truck and point it at the pegmatitic dikes and actually drill it. So, those things are very, very important. When you look at infrastructure on one of the properties, Quebec Hydro goes right through the middle of the property. So we have the infrastructure, we're in a good jurisdiction, we're fully funded. So, if you look at de-risking a project, it's coming along very, very nicely. We're not in an area that we can't get to, or is very difficult to get to. That sometimes you can only do the work in the wintertime. You have to wait for the frost to come in so you can move stuff around. We're not in that position. We can work year round on these properties, and we're fully funded.
Well, on that note, I definitely appreciate your time today, gentlemen. As we pass it off to the viewers, as always, we'd love to know what you think in that comment section. Consider subscribing as News and Catalyst come down the wire like this. Of course, we'll bring it to you here. And if you want to explore a bit further, we're going to leave the links in the description below as well. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.